probably dead. His body will come popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out. See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch prom night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Here's Johnny. Groovy.
Yo, what up, everybody? Happy Halloween, y'all. Happy Halloween from your boy Kenny to everybody out there all around the globe. It's official. This is Halloween, baby. And this is, of course, the Halloween special here on the channel, baby. It's the Halloween special. It's Fandom Frequency Show, episode 23. We've been on a short hiatus with this long-form podcast, y'all. My apologies. Our apologies here. You know what I'm saying? Just been trying to make sure to, get all the other content rolling, rocking and rolling. It's been consistent on everything, and it's been doing very well. But we wanted to make sure to get back to some of this long-form content. But we wanted to take a step back and kind of rework our strategy and rework how we're going to do the show. It's going to be a lot more consistent. It is going to be out twice a month minimum. You're going to get at least 2 episodes of the Fandom Frequency Show every single month from November moving forward. So be looking for that. And we also got some other announcements here coming very soon. So make sure you be looking out for that. But it definitely is long form podcast related. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. And speaking of the podcast feed, thank you to everybody out there that's been downloading the episodes. Really, really big stuff. We just got over 800 downloads, man. And that's a blessing. So thank you very much. And we're at 152 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching us on video today, thank you very much. And the channel's just been growing, and the community has been just getting full of positive, like-minded geeks that just want to discuss what we love the most and have fun, man, and critique certain things, even if we don't like something, but let's have a discussion. And I love how every one of you has had such a fun discussion with us here, man, and it's been just cool. Like, even if we don't agree, it's fun, and that's the whole purpose of this thing, man. So, as you can see, your boy's dressed up here as Eddie Munson, man, rest in peace to Eddie the Banished. Spoiler alert, if you ain't watched Stranger Things Season 4, I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know what you've been doing unless you went out of town to work or something. I'll give Miguel a pass, that's about it. That's it. That's the only person I know that just went busy and shit. Everyone else, you better have seen Stranger Things 4 by now. But we got a ton of shit to get into today, guys. It is nothing but Halloween horror content, baby. We've been keeping that rolling all month long. We've had a lot of other stuff going on. You can go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can see all of that. Andor, Star Wars, House of the Dragon, all that. We've been covering it. But today is strictly about Halloween and horror content. So that is what we are going to get into today, y'all. So, with no further ado, man, we're going to have to start getting into it. But one thing I want to post, a question I want to pose to you guys, drop your Halloween plans in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have been up to lately. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see what you guys did over the Halloween weekend as well. I didn't actually go to any Halloween parties myself, unfortunately, but I went to 2 of the closest friends I have in the world, Corey and Justine's wedding. It was really cool and all that. But yeah, so let me see here, guys. Trying to grab a little something here off the computer. You think I would have prepped this? Man, for reals. Y'all seeing a peek behind the curtain right now. But I'm gonna keep it rolling, man. And when it comes to Halloween plans, I got a little something planned for later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be doing that. It's gonna be a good time. And I want to also know what horror movies, what Halloween/scary movies have y'all been watching over the course of this spooky season, man. I've been watching quite a few myself. Saw, a lot of Freddy, Michael, Jason movies, man. I watched Bride of Chucky for the first time in like maybe 10, 15 years. Literally, I have not watched that movie since I was a child. That was a fucking dope-ass one, man. That was a great one. I really, really dug that. I really love that. That might be my favorite Chucky movie, actually, is Bride of Chucky for sure. That might actually be my favorite one. Funny enough, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And I would love to hear what you guys have been watching. I always love to hear what everyone's getting into, what Halloween plans you're getting into, you know what I'm saying? And if you follow us on social media, man, tag us and show us your Halloween decorations. We would love to see what kind of decorations you got out there, guys. All right. So now we are going to get into one of the first segments of the show, and that is, what's the word, man? What's the word? I'm waiting for the goddamn graphic, man. It ain't popping up here. But, oh well, I'm going to keep it pushing. What's the word? That is our segment where we get into all the pop culture news, baby. All the pop culture news of the day. And we got plenty to get into here, man. And it's some really good shit. Some really good, interesting stuff. Some really good stuff. So the first big news segment, the first big news piece of the day, man, is y'all should know by now this franchise ain't dead, because the Saw franchise continues, y'all. It continues. One of the previous directors, I think, that did part 3 and part 5 is going to be directing this one, and it's going to be Saw 10. You know what I'm saying? Saw X. They made it. We got Jason X. Now we got Saw X, baby. Now we got Saw X. You know, I don't know why Halloween didn't do Halloween X, you know? What's going on? What's going on? They're already at 13 or 12, technically, if you're not including Season of the Witch due to the absence of Michael Myers. If you don't know, now you know, and if you know, you know. Which, by the way, Halloween Season of the Witch is one of the best Halloween movies ever, bar none. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. But getting back to the news at hand here, the big thing about that is not that it's happening necessarily, but also Tobin Bell returns, y'all. That's right. The man behind the mask, the man that started it all. You know, the dead body that was sitting in there in the first one that you thought was a dead body, but wasn't. Crazy ass twist, dude. Blew my fucking mind. I think I was like 12, 13 when I seen that, a few years after it came out. And I was like, oh shit, man. Whoa. Or something like that. I don't remember when it came out, but I saw it around 12, 13. Blew my mind. That was crazy. But Tobin Bell is back. So I don't really think they got into the specifics of what he's doing, but you'd have to assume it's the same character, right? He's doing the same shit, supposedly. But I thought he died, though. So I'm kind of confused there. Y'all let me know if I'm missing something. I haven't kept up with the Saw franchise, like, barely, dude. I saw the first 4. Maybe. I know for sure I saw the first 3. Like, for sure. But 4, I don't even know. Because I can't quite remember if I saw 4 at somebody's house or I watched it on, like, HBO, a cable channel, like a Prime movie channel. Premium movie channel is what I'm trying to say. Before the streaming wars really took off. But other than that, dude, I have not watched any of the sequels, including the latest one, Spiral. Haven't seen it. So I don't really have a lot of the lore, knowledge of the lore necessarily. So when it comes to me, I'm open to it, I guess. I'm not a big Saw fan. I got really burnt out on that franchise really early on. Like, I was like, I don't need 10 movies of people getting tortured. Personally, that's just me. And you could put the same equivalent to Jason, Michael, Freddy. I don't need to see 10 movies plus movies of people getting chopped up and shit. You know, it's a fair argument, but I don't really want to see another Saw movie personally. I am curious about Spiral, though, due to the talent involved in front of the camera and behind the camera when it comes to Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson being 2 of the lead stars, 2 of my favorite performers and actors ever. Samuel Jackson might be my favorite actor ever. So that really gets me interested in Spiral, of course, and the fact that it was Chris Rock's idea and he pitched it to the studio to get it going. That very much interests me because he's a fan of the franchise and is obviously very talented in his own right, but also with his really dark and good sense of humor, I think he could really add something to the franchise. So I'm definitely down to check it out. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I really would like to see Spiral. That really does look interesting to me. And I might catch up on the Saw franchise at some point. I might do a whole review series on the channel or some shit. Who knows? Anything can change in the future. Anything can happen. But overall, I'm just not really into it as much. So, you know, I'll check it out. I'll check out the trailer when it comes out. I'll react to it. Y'all will see that here. But overall, I'm not really as into that franchise. So just wanted to let y'all know, because what's the word, man? So I'm gonna let the horror fans know. And moving right along here to something that I don't know a ton about, but I played the first one. Well, I know I played Silent Hill 2 back in the day, but it's been a long fucking time. I haven't seen the movie yet. Don't judge me. So Silent Hill 2 remake, baby. The game is coming back in a full-on remake. Full-on remake for the next gen, PS5, Xbox One S, whatever the fuck, you know, all that shit. And yeah, they're back. And the other good piece of news that really gets me more excited than anything else, they're also making a film as well. So Silent Hill is coming back in video game form and film form. It's going to be dope. And it's actually an idea that might potentially tie into the game itself. So that to me is actually very interesting because it's you don't see a lot of stuff going on like that where things cross over into the games in that necessary way, unless they're going to adapt a film adapt a film version of the game they're creating, so it's going to be essentially a very similar, if not the same story. I'm not sure, but I would hope it's going to be a spin-off or a continuation of the video game. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would actually be very interesting if it ties in very small ways that if you don't play the game, it doesn't matter to you when you watch the movie. But if they can work in some really cool hints and some references with visual cues and different little things like Easter eggs and stuff like that, that would be cool if they tie it in together in that way, because that just be really unique for franchises to be doing. There's not a lot that really tie in that form or fashion other than Star Wars, maybe a couple others, and they don't even necessarily use that to their advantage fully all the time. So yeah, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I can't wait to see who's going to end up directing and writing this thing when it comes to the movie, and I'm definitely going to get the game when it comes out, that remake. Silent Hill 2 is a fucking great game. I haven't played that in literally almost 20, maybe 20 years, like honestly, because I'm 27, 28 now, so it might have been like 20 years or close to it since I played that game, but I really dug it, and it really scared me though, so it scared me too much to play it back then, but I would like to do it because nothing really scares me anymore. So as y'all know, I'll watch whatever. Like I said, don't like torture porn, don't like that kind of shit, but I can handle it. I saw Terrifier 2, I'm good, I've seen other shit, I'm good, but it's just like, it's not my forte. But Silent Hill, that's more my speed, because it's the supernatural stuff that we see all the time with the Conjuring films and all that. We're going to get into that in a bit. We be seeing that all over the place, but I'm actually more excited to see Silent Hill get a chance to get a crack at it, because I hear, can I talk? I hear that the previous film that they did was not bad, but the sequel was definitely a misstep. So it's going to be good to see if they can get a little more life back into that franchise and get it rolling again, because it'd be cool just to have more dope horror content out there. You can never have enough, right? So let's keep that shit rolling, you know what I mean? But let me know if you're excited for Silent Hill 2, and if you've played the game, where does it rank for you for your all-time horror games? Do you think it's the best horror game of all time? Let me know. I would love to hear from y'all. And moving on from there, we got The Pale Blue Eye. Is actually going to be a new horror film coming out on Netflix, and it's going to be starring none other than one of the dopest actors working today, Christian Bale. And let me get the information right here so I can actually really fill you guys in here. Give me a moment, pardon me, but I would like to fill you guys in on this, man. The Pale Blue Eye. Because one other thing, too, that I know off the top of my head is that there is going to be Edgar Allan Poe is also going to be in this film. He's going to be played by known Harry Potter actor Harry Melling, who played Harry's annoying-ass cousin, essentially. The little fat kid that was an asshole to him. Yeah, that guy. He's going to be in there as Edgar Allan Poe, of all people, teaming up with Christian Bale to solve a series of, like, crazy-ass murders, where the dude is like literally cut out somebody's heart, or whoever does the killing, cut out somebody's heart like perfectly and surgically, and he's trying to figure out who the hell's doing this shit, right? And it's gonna be pretty insane, man. It's coming out next year, I believe. Oh no, it's coming out this year. Okay, cool. Let me get the release date for y'all. Give me a moment. Is there a release date yet? Oh no, it's not coming out this year. Damn you, IMDb. January 6, 2023. So it's coming out early next year, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. It sounds hella interesting. And you got a lot of great actors in the cast, just looking at it right here. Toby Jones, Gillian Anderson, Robert Duvall, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I recognize right here. But you got some great talent right there involved, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, man, Christian Bale going full-on detective here, teaming up with Allan Poe. Definitely sounds interesting, and it's going to be more of a thriller, that's for sure. Probably a little more on the thriller side than horror. But it's definitely nice to mix it up with a good thriller every now and again. And y'all know that Christian Bale is an amazing actor. And if you don't know, go ahead and look up any of his movies. He's killing it every single time. That's literally all you have to do. Google any movie Christian Bale's in. Watch that. He's dope. Literally. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. He never lets me down. Even though some people don't necessarily love his villain in the MCU when it comes to Thor Love and Thunder, man, I dug him. I just thought he wasn't necessarily fleshed out in the writing department, which wasn't Christian Bale's fault, because he killed every single scene he was in. So I'm looking forward to that. And looking at more of the information here, the writer is actually going to be written and directed by Scott Cooper, based on a novel by Louis Bayard. And I like Scott Cooper's work, man. Let me look it up. Let me make sure I'm thinking of the right guy. Yeah, he did Crazy Heart, Hostels, Out of the Furnace, Antlers. I have not seen those films, if I'm being honest with you. But I hear such great things about every single one of those movies, so he's definitely got a lot of talent, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he brings to it. I saw part of Hostels. That movie was really good. I really need to go back and finish that. But he's worked with Christian Bale several times before, not only in that film, but in Out of the Furnace back in 2013. So exactly a decade later, he's working on him again after that film, and just 6 years later after the film Hostels. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does. I did hear a lot of good things about Antlers last year. Just didn't get around to seeing it per se, but I think it's on HBO Max. So I need to really fix that problem. But The Pale Blue Eye, January 6, 2023. Make sure you put that on your calendars, because I think that's going to be one of the dopest movies going into 2023 early on. I think it's going to kick it off to a nice start. I think, Some Netflix movies are very hit and miss, man. Red Notice, I didn't fuck with that movie. That's 3 of my favorite performers. Still didn't like that shit. Six Underground or whatever the hell that was. It was okay. But I did like Army of Darkness. Army of the Dead, right? Yeah, Army of Darkness. Jesus Christ. Army of the Dead from Zack Snyder. I dug that movie. I know a lot of people didn't like that movie a year or two ago. I think it was a year ago, last year. I loved it. It was one of our first early reviews on the channel, actually. I didn't love it. Sorry. I liked the movie. But it's really fun, you know what I'm saying? It has its issues. It definitely doesn't feed into some of the potential that it had going into it, because it doesn't show Vegas declining. It shows it afterwards, which we've seen a dozen times. It's the same thing in a new environment, but not really that different. I thought they were going to show Vegas just go to shit, and it was going to spread like the actual zombie breakout. So that's the only thing I think Zack Snyder missed the boat on that. But what he gave us, I thought, was still a pretty damn entertaining ride. That still had its flaws, but it was really damn entertaining. Great actors and dope action, but it's Zack Snyder. When does he not have great action scenes? So there you go. And then you got the last piece of news for the day, for this segment, man. It is The Nun 2 is confirmed to be going down. They just cast a couple of the lead roles, and Conjuring 4 has been confirmed recently too. So we got another Conjuring movie coming out, but it doesn't say anything about James Wan directing, so I ain't excited, because I did not fuck with that last movie, honestly. I didn't get around to recording a review for it back at the time, because we weren't doing things as consistently yet, still getting the ball rolling back then. But if I would have gave it a review, it would have been my most negative review I'd ever done to this day, because I do not like Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Interesting ideas there, but the execution was off, man. And there were some great sequences in there, but the execution overall was off. My main man, Patrick Wilson, and then Vera Farmiga still killed it with their performances and were giving it their all, but that script was lacking. The overall direction style was not there in the way that James Wan has it. He's a one-of-a-kind filmmaker. You can't replace him in his own franchise like this and expect the same results. Never happened with Saw. I would say most people would argue that. At least most people. I think most of them don't line up to what the original first 2 did. So I don't even think he directed the second one, if I'm not mistaken. So that goes to show you right there. But yeah, so not really, and I never seen The Nun either, so I'm not excited for either of these particular announcements, if I'm being honest. But I always like to keep an open mind, and I am willing to go check out The Nun and just see what I think for it myself, because I haven't got a chance, or I haven't gotten around to it yet, I would say is a better way to put it. But I'm willing to give it a shot and see if I like The Nun, but I definitely do not like Conjuring 3. So Conjuring 4 is going to have to do a little more to kind of win me over, but overall, The Nun 2, I'm willing to kind of check out The Nun first before I really put the death nail in that coffin over there. So I'm willing to give it a shot, but I don't think I'm going to dig it, just based off of what I heard and what the trailers were looking like to me. I don't think I'm going to love it, but hey, I would love to be wrong, because I prefer to watch things and be surprised, or be pleasantly surprised, than be disappointed and have wasted my time, So yeah, not necessarily in love with The Conjuring 3, and definitely haven't seen The Nun, so we'll see what happens with it, but that pretty much wraps it up for What's the Word today, y'all. And now we're going to get into just like a fucking big old, just a three-peat, baby. We're going to get into a triple threat right here. We got 3 big old movie reviews for you, and not big necessarily, you know what I mean, but we got 3 movie reviews for you, man, all in the horror genre, of course. We got something from streaming, and we got a couple movies from years back that I love a lot. So, yeah, and I'm not talking like old school. These are modern classics, in my opinion. These are great films. One's about to hit its 10th anniversary next year, and I met one of the stars of it, and we'll get more into that in a moment. And I also love this other movie, and it finally hit theaters for the first time, I think, potentially ever. So, yeah, good stuff coming from there. That's your big hint for that. But the first one we got coming up here, obviously, because if you're looking on video, you already saw the thumbnail, but I'm teasing the audio viewers a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, but not really though, if you're paying attention. The first review that we're going to get into, y'all, is none other than the latest Shudder exclusive film that just dropped. And let me tell you, it's a dope-ass movie, man. I really dug this film. It's called Deadstream, man. It's called Deadstream. And let me make sure to pull up the directors and the writers and everything. I got to give them credit. This film was awesome. This was done by Joseph Winter and Vanessa Winter, husband and wife team. Really dope stuff. And obviously distributed by Shudder. And I believe they wrote it as well. And let me tell you guys, just getting into the overall stuff here. The premise is there's a big like YouTube personality guy. There's a big YouTube personality guy, right? And let me pull up his name here. I'm messing up here. I think it's really fucking up, man. Sean. I kept wanting to say Shane, but I knew it wasn't it. But yeah, Sean Ruddy is this big YouTube personality, right? And he's over here, you know, doing all these dumb challenges a la Jackass, a la TikTok challenges kind of blended into one, where he does crazy stunts and he kind of does really dumb shit to himself and all this other nonsense. And then one day he goes a little too far and ends up hurting somebody. And I'm not going to give you away everything because this is going to be somewhat of a spoiler review. But I think I'm going to try to keep it a little as spoiler-free as I can, just because I want you guys to go in a little more blind on this film, where the other two have kind of been out for a minute, so I'm going to spoil the hell out of them. This one, I'm going to try to go a little light on the spoilers. So just trying to get around and dance around some of that. He goes too far, he gets disgraced, loses sponsors, and now he has to come up with something to get people's interest again. So eventually, when he gets his sponsors back, he gets the idea to go to a real haunted house, a haunted location, and live stream from there and spend the night. So that's what he does. And let me tell you, man, once he gets there and fucks up in a certain way, shit hits the fan. And let me tell you, man, this is the perfect blend of something like VHS, Blair Witch Project, and Evil Dead 2. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a blend of those things all together with a little bit of like the modern sensibilities from films like Searching and other movies that go straight up into like the streaming and the found footage elements kind of blended together in the more modern way. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way you kind of get the film. It's all essentially found footage or whatever, but it's so well shot and the sound design and everything is so well done that you really feel immersed in the experience and feel like you're really there with Sean, watching him, or you're there in there. You know what I'm saying? And you're getting a lot of POV shots. He has the different rig and everything where he can shoot. He can have shots of his face while he has different cameras and everything, so you can get the, a farther away shot, you know what I'm saying? More of a wide shot, where he has the other things for the close-ups and to get that real, claustrophobic Blair Witch kind of feel, you know what I'm saying? So I love the way that they're blending all that stuff together and using the modern tools that people have as content creators to be able to shoot this stuff this way. So you get a little more precision and you get a little more of clarity, and it's not so shaky where you don't know what the fuck is going on. That's the thing I love with this movie. That's very rarely and few and far between. If he's rolling and falling downstairs, yeah, you're not going to see things clearly, but that's the point. They're putting you in the experience. Otherwise, when he's walking around, sneaking around, trying to get away from the ghosts and all the other ghouls and whatnot, you see everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I kind of love when people are able to make a good found footage film in today's time, in the last 5-10 years, because the technology's better. It looks better. It's a little more presentable. It doesn't make people all nauseous with the fucking shaky cam like you're over here fighting in a Jason Bourne movie. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I really dig with this movie. And, but yeah, and the casting all around, like when it comes to Melanie Stone, who plays a particular character of Chrissy, and I'm not going to give you any details on her. She's phenomenal. And the overall acting is just top-notch from Joseph Winter as well, who plays Sean Ruddy, who's also the co-director of the film along with his wife. And he does a phenomenal job, man, of just playing like a bro kind of douchey, like frat kind of guy that kind of never really got like a really good like job for themselves, I guess, and never really found a real direction in life. So they just ended up getting onto YouTube and doing their thing. And like I said, I'm on here doing YouTube right now, so I ain't talking shit, but that's just kind of the character they kind of set up for him to be. And he does such a great job of playing that, kind of like a Steve-O for the modern millennial Gen Z generation, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the way I kind of looked at it. It was kind of like a Steve-O-ish kind of character, you know what I'm saying? Except Steve-O is much more smarter and more savvy than people give him credit for, you know what I mean? As opposed to Sean Ruddy, which I don't know. It's kind of a question that you could throw up in the air, you know what I'm saying? But it's a great horror comedy as well. There's a lot of great humor sprinkled in there, but the way that but the way that they really bring in the horror when they want to bring in the scary shit, it's effective, dude. Like, there's shots in there and gore that, like, fucking had me like, oh, shit, you know? Like, really was, like, creepy stuff in there and really had me on the edge of my seat, man. Like, it didn't scare me, but it definitely was, like, really immersive and really is going to get you there. And if you get scared easy, this movie is going to scare you. I'm pretty sure. It's really, really effective with its scares, and I really dig it. Some of them are kind of formulaic, and you've seen it before if you watch a lot of horror, like your boy here. But either way, I think this is still a fun, entertaining ride and a really well-done film. And I honestly don't have a ton of negatives for it. Honestly, the only negative I had was not fleshing out his backstory a little more as a character, just getting a sense of what got him to the point of where he was doing the YouTube content creation and kind of why he would be that, you know, I don't know. I just thought they could have informed his character just a little bit more, but he does go through a really satisfying arc in the movie and does change up. So I do like that they do take him on an arc, they do take him on a journey, but I do think they could have fleshed out his character just a little bit more with kind of where he was, what got him to where he was at that point in his life and all that kind of stuff a little bit more. But they do tell you why he was disgraced and what goes on there, so you do get that reveal. But yeah, it's a really, really well done film, man. I really, really dig it. I give it like a strong 8 out of 10. It's really, 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 really good. It's not like changing the game or anything like that, but for a found footage film and for a horror comedy, it definitely does both of those things very well, and both of those things are very hard to pull off. And y'all know there's much more bad found footage movies and stuff like that than there is good, and there's much more bad horror comedies than there are good ones. So this one's definitely in the good category for both of those. I really dig this movie, highly recommend it. I'm going to be doing a top 10 horror movies of the year list for 2022 near the end of the year going into 23. Look out for this movie. It's probably going to be on that list. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking over everything right now. There's a few more releases that are that came out that I got to catch up on, streaming and theater, and DVD wise. So I'll definitely catch up on some of that. But this movie is a really strong contender for that top 10, and it's a damn good movie, man. If you love horror, this is definitely up your alley. If you dig found footage movies, if you like haunted houses, this is for you. And I can't recommend this movie enough. It's really, really awesome. Getting into one of the two main headliners right here, baby. We're going to be getting into one of the two main movies. I was teasing y'all in the beginning, but now we're going to get into this thing. And I'm talking about 2007's Trick or Treat, baby. One of the dopest horror anthologies ever put to film in all of the horror genre. At any time. Directed and written by Michael Dougherty, who has gone on to do various other things like Krampus, which does have its audience, man. I'm not a big fan of Krampus myself, or Krampus, whatever you want to say, myself, but it's okay. But I don't really love it quite like I love this one, but a lot of people really do champion that one and fight, and it will run up that hill and die on that hill for that one, boy. So they really dig that one. And he also did Godzilla King of the Monsters most recently, which I thought was a decent sequel, but, you know, that's a topic for another day, but I don't think it was necessarily all his fault or anything like that. But when we're talking about Trick or Treat, though, this is his best film to date. This film is flawless, man. I love this fucking movie. It is so well done, man. Just the way that it's such an interweaving anthology thing, right? Where it all takes place like in this little small suburban town, right? And you got all these different ghouls and zombies, you got werewolves, man, you got all these things running around on Halloween night, and you got everyone out trick-or-treating, doing their thing, and there's the main boy, man, the guy hanging on those lights back there, Sam, none other than the horror icon himself, Sam, man, is there to get these motherfuckers that ain't got the Halloween spirit, baby. You break the rules, he breaking bones, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't that easy to put down either, man. Michael Myers even gonna have a time with this one, you know what I'm saying? So I love this fucking movie, man. It is phenomenal, man. Getting into the cast, dude. It's a great cast. You got a lot of really great actors that were already prominent and known at the time they did the movie and have gone on to even get more out there. You know what I'm saying? And you got Quinn Lord, who played Sam at the time, obviously was a child, I'm sure. And now, you know, full-grown adult. He's actually going to be at the CreepyCon horror convention in Ontario and California. So that's going to be interesting. Might be trying to get to that thing to go try to meet him. But anyway, yeah, he played the titular, or not the titular, but he plays the mascot of the film, the main bad guy, if you will, the big bad, Sam himself, and he does such a great job of being so innocent looking and being that child that he looks like, but really brings on the horror and really brings on the terror when you find out what the hell he really is. And when he's killing, he's brutal, he's creepy, he's calculated, man. Like, I love Sam as a horror villain. He is so well done, man. It's just so awesome, so cute. So, like, cuddly looking, but at the same time, he'll cut your throat, you know? Like, you can't trust him, and I really, really dig the character. I thought he was cool. And but yeah, man. And then you got Anna Paquin up in here playing the character of Lori, who we'll get into more when we talk about that segment. And then you got Dylan Baker up in this thing playing Stephen Wilkins, the crazy kid killer, serial killer guy that's going around biting up women and killing people. And yeah, this guy's fucked up, man. I'm telling you now. And then you also got Brian Cox up in here as Mr. Krieg, who we'll get into also in that segment. And then you got Leslie Bibb, who plays Emma, and Brett Kelly, who plays Charlie, the couple in the robot costume and everything, who end up getting got because Leslie Bibb's character doesn't listen to the rules and wants to take off the lights in the decorations on Halloween night. How dare you? How fucking dare you? He'll come and get you, man. I got a bunch of them right there. I got to keep up with the spirit, you know? But, and then you got, you got some other actresses in here, like Rochelle Yells playing Maria, and then Monica Delaney playing Janet, and Lauren Smith Lee playing Danielle, the other girls that are kicking it with Lori over there, Anna Paquin's character, and we will get into them ladies later. And yeah, man, such great, phenomenal acting across the board. Everyone plays into the innocent or the creepy side. Whatever they got to do, these actors really come through and just nail it every single time. Really, really great stuff. I absolutely loved what those actors were doing, man. And when it comes to, you know, kind of the individual segments and whatnot, man, my favorite ones really out of like the 4 or 5 that are in there, I definitely like the werewolves ones the most. That one's fucking great, and it was such a twist I did not see coming. And we're going to get into that in just a second. And then I like the bus driver flashback that ties into the kids going to play the prank on the nerdy girl or whatever. I liked that one as well. That one was really dope. It had like Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibes to it. You know what I'm saying? Like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I was really getting those vibes for some reason in that. And just the first 2 films mostly. And then, and also the Mr. Krieg segment when Sam really goes ham and is trying to get his ass. You know what I'm saying? And the final kind of sequence, if you will, the final kind of short in there and segment, if you will. And yeah, man, like that, those were my favorite ones. And then you also have, there was one other, I thought there was one other segment up in there. Maybe I'm tripping. But anyways, moving on. But yeah, man, just some of the highlights of there, man, was definitely the fucking werewolf one, man. Because you get set up early on with Anna Paquin's character and these girls, you know, they're in the dressing room trying on their costumes or whatever, and they just seem like typical, you know, teenage young women that are just going out to have fun on Halloween, get their costume, get their drink on, go have a good time, you know, maybe go, you know, find some handsome dudes, whatever, you know, you think they're just trying to find some dudes to hook up. Lori seems like she's the virgin of the group, right? And then come to find out she is, but in a different way than you really think. And I'm wondering if she was a sexual version as well, but we're going to get in, I don't know. You never know. You never know. Shit. So weird having hair like this. Anyway, continuing. And then, yeah, so then as you go on from there, you think that they're just going to try to hook up with these dudes, whatever. And then she's like all around pouting, looking around, trying to find somebody. And then she ends up running into Dylan Baker's character, who's acting like he's a fucking vampire and shit. And then he's over there trying to, I forgot about his segment. That's the one I was forgetting about. But that was a good segment too. But moving on here with my train of thought. And then you got him running around acting like he's a vampire, and he kills this woman, this innocent lady and shit that he's hooking up with. I'm like, come on, man, what you doing that for? Give her the ultimate ecstasy before you take her life away? It's crazy shit. Dylan Baker's character is so crazy in this, man. This man absolutely killed it, no pun intended. This guy was just phenomenal in that role, man. He was so creepy, so scary, but he did seem like that normal-ass principal that you would see around campus or around school or whatever the fuck, but that was really funny. Or not funny, but he was really creepy and everything like that. And then what was really funny, actually, was when he tried to fuck with Lori, she ends up fucking his ass up big time, and then she ends up meeting up with her homegirls in the forest or whatever, and then she throws his ass over there where they're at, and then he comes to find out these bitches are eating up these dudes because they're werewolves, man. And then they start having, like, ripping off their skin and start revealing what they really look like and shit. And then it's almost like the sex scene in The Howling with no sex in it. But there are, like, nudity because you do see, like tits and shit. And then it's like, oh, shit, they're actually werewolves and all that. And they're ripping the skin off like they're taking off, like, a latex costume somebody put on set. And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell's going on? And they're fucking werewolves and shit, man. I was like, it's so creepy. And then freaking Anna Paquin's character starts freaking biting on the dude and everything like that. And they're just freaking going to town on these dudes. And then you just see Sam sitting there in the background right there by the campfire just chilling, watching the action go on. And you just get the sickest freaking transition into the next thing with the freaking moon coming into the spot where Sam's head is as the freaking as it has like a slow fade out into the next scene or whatever for the transition. Super awesome there. Just such great craftsmanship went into this movie, man. Like, and the way that Michael Dougherty had all these different segments, all non-linear and out of order. You know what I'm saying? And I love the way that he did the freaking Pulp Fiction Tarantino stuff with this, and it's so well done because you see little instances of what time it was taking place at the other things, because you see the characters like interlap with each other or pass by each other, you know what I'm saying, or be around the same place around the same time. So it's interesting how like you see the timeline of how everything goes down. All you have to do is just pay a slight bit of attention, and he makes it very clear like what the actual order is of the events that go down, because the first thing that you see is him going after Leslie Bibb's character, but that's actually the very last thing that he's doing chronologically in the story. So I love the way that he starts with the ending, you know what I mean, and then jumps all around, and everything's already taken place, you know, like by the time that he got done fucking with Mr. Krieg, he's already everything else has already taken place, and now he's gonna go fuck with them. So that's the very actual last kill of it. So I love the way that he even implemented that into the formatting of the story, just to create, you know, more uneasiness and just to make it more unique, and it stands out in that way, and it really, really does. And I like how it's an anthology that is kind of one singular story in and of itself in a very, very clear way. So it's really cool how he took the Pulp Fiction kind of vibe, but actually even made it more streamlined and without cutting out the nuance. You know what I mean? So I think that was really cool how he was able to balance that out. And I think he worked on this for like many, many years. You know, he really had this idea and he was percolating on it for a long time, and you can tell because he really, really nailed this thing and he really executed it. And they always say it's not in the ideas, it's in the execution. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a big deal there. That's always a big part of the thing. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, and one thing I gotta say too, it's the best horror anthology in the 21st century, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. It is definitely the best horror anthology ever done in the 21st century, at least since 2000. I just cannot get enough of this movie, man. I watch it every single Halloween. I do watch multiple times a year because y'all know me. It's Halloween all year long for me, baby. But, you know, I watch it every single Halloween season if I haven't watched it beforehand. Every single year annually since I saw this movie 6-7 years ago for the first time. So I absolutely love this movie. And if you've seen this movie, I want to hear from y'all down below. Already spoiled the hell out of it if you didn't, but let me know if you're interested in watching it now. But I would love to get your guys' thoughts about this movie down below. If you love it, and if you've seen it, when did you first see it? And let me know if you got a chance to check it out in theaters recently, because it's having a small, short theatrical run for the spooky season all the way up until today, Halloween night. So if you get a chance to go check it out, I want to hear from y'all. Let me know. And yeah, man, I think that pretty much does it for me on this one, man. Trick or Treat, absolute modern classic, best horror anthology of the 21st century. I love that motherfucking movie. But now it's time to get into the headliner of the night, baby. The headliner of the night, 2013's dopest movie, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. Adam Wingard's magnum opus, also written by Simon Barrett. I'm talking about You're Next. That's right, baby. You're Next from 2013, starring Sharni Vincent right there as Aaron, and lots of other great actors here that I will name off right now. So getting into the rest of the cast here, you got A.J. Bowen, who's playing Crispin, and he's been in a lot of other great movies, or like a lot of other great horror movies as well, like, what was that? The House of the Devil, Ty West's film from several years ago. I also see him in another movie, but I can't pull that one right now off the top of my head. But you got Nicholas Tucci, rest in peace, who's playing his Crispin's younger brother Felix, who's part of orchestrating the whole ordeal that takes place, man. And then you got Joe Swanberg, who's playing Drake. Might have seen him in one of those segments in VHS 1, I believe. And then you got Wendy Glenn playing Z, who's Felix's girlfriend up in there, and actually is one of Sharni Vincent's real-life best friends, which is actually funny to see how they're at each other in the movie, and then they're actually best friends in real life, so that had to be pretty fun to kind of play out in a sense. And then you got the horror legend herself, Scream Queen herself, baby, Barbara Crampton up in here as the mom, Aubrey. And then you also have the horror director himself, Ty West, who just did one of my favorite movies of the year, bar none anyway, X. And he also had his follow-up, the prequel, Pearl. I haven't seen that yet, full disclosure, but we'll be watching that soon. And he has that thing rolling right there. And he was playing Tariq, a boyfriend of the sister in the family there out of all the siblings. And then you had Rob Moran playing the father, Paul. And that pretty much rounds out your main cast there. And everybody did such a phenomenal job in that regard. And while we're talking about the cast, give your boy a second. I actually got the chance to meet Shawnee Vincent, as you can see. I'll put it up a little closer there. Give me a second. Right there. But yeah, I met her back in May at Monster Palooza, man, down there in Pasadena. And she was such a sweetheart, man. And I was just telling her how much I loved the film You're Next and everything like that. And was asking her about her future projects and everything at the time and what else she'd been working on. You know, we were just chopping it up and everything like that. And she's really, really awesome, man. And she's really, really cool to talk to. Was so down to earth. And I just felt so blessed to be able to have the chance to meet her. So if she ever sees this, you know, much love to you, Sharni. You're super awesome, super talented. And I just root for everything you got going on in the future. And we'll support everything you got going on in the future. That is for sure. But yeah, man, she was so awesome in this film as the final girl, as Aaron. Man, completely flip you on your head, man. You did not see that coming. That she was just this badass, like Sarah Connor-esque kind of character, just, you know, hidden in plain sight. Because when shit hits the fan, she is ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. She is so awesome, man, but she just plays it so convincingly in that sense, too, that she just knows what she's doing. She's able to just use her instinct and all that, but she isn't perfect the whole time. Like, she makes her mistakes, and she definitely gets hurt and definitely receives damage along the way and has some close calls, but I really love the way that she was just so awesome and badass in the role, and the way that Simon Barrett and Adam Wingard crafted that character to be was just so awesome. Erin is far and away one of the best final girls in the modern era right now, if not the best. And really gives my personal favorite, Sydney Prescott over there in the Scream franchise, a run for their money. I absolutely love her, man. She was so awesome in this movie and really took charge of the role and really just did such a phenomenal job, man. And when you're talking about the director and the writer, Simon Barrett and Adam Wingard, respectfully, dude, these guys absolutely killed it, man. This film is just so well crafted from beginning to end. When you get the opening sequence with the guy that's banging the college girl, and then the whole opening "You're Next" written on the screen door there, and the whole thing, with the whole classic song at this point, almost it feels like, looking for the magic and all that, which that's a pretty damn good tune, by the way, in its own right. And it's funny because at first Adam Wingard couldn't get the rights to the song, but then he ended up getting it cleared and everything worked out there because they were going to have a different song at first, but then he found that song and got it cleared and they ended up using that instead. So that's pretty cool how at first we weren't even going to end up with that song, and I actually like that song and thinks it kind of almost becomes kind of the unofficial theme song of the movie in a weird way, right? And it's cool because they use the song several different times to kind of make you feel uneasy, kind of trip you out with the juxtaposition of happy sounding music and all that stuff. So, yeah. So the way that plays out is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. My bad. But yeah, man, when it comes to You're Next, and I gotta say, I remember back in the day when I first watched this movie for the very, very first time. I watched it on demand. Didn't get to see it in theaters, unfortunately. And I saw it randomly on demand. I was looking for a horror movie to watch. I was like, I want to watch a scary movie, man. What do they got on here? I'm looking for something new. I don't want to watch the same thing over and over again. It was circa 2013, 2014, and I stumbled onto it, and I was like, okay, the cover with the mask and everything was just so iconic and just really caught my attention. And I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. And the way that it all starts off kind of is like this family reunion, kind of like that turns kind of into like a home invasion kind of thing, and then it kind of goes into slasher mode, and then it kind of has or it starts off in slasher mode, then it gets into home invasion mode, and then it kind of blends all of those together into this really unique blend of home invasion and slasher movie that really works because those are two of my favorite subgenres in horror to begin with, slasher being my favorite. So that really just played well for me at the time. It was really able to bring a lot of new energy and creativity to this subgenre and kind of help rejuvenate it a little bit and kind of get it going a little bit so the Scream 5s and the Halloween 2018 and beyond can come out, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like how Your Next played a small part in that, in the horror community and kind of in the overall kind of awareness of the slasher subgenre kind of getting its just due, because Scream 4 didn't necessarily blow up the box office in 2011. I didn't even see it in theaters at the time. So that will tell you something, and y'all know I'm a diehard Scream fan, so that should definitely tell you something there, but didn't end up seeing it at the time, so Didn't end up seeing this in theater either, but this movie just blew my mind from start to finish, man. It was just so well done, so well crafted, and actually really tense and creepy and really well done at times. And and when they go for the gore, they go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't shy away from it. You don't get too many cutaway kills. I feel like you get them in the tasteful ways and in the moments that really, I think, make the most sense, you know, because when they really want to get to the gnarliness of it, seeing some dude have to, like, literally stab his dad and his brother to death is like, holy shit. Or see this guy have to see someone slit his dad's throat in front of him and then have to kill his own, or not have to, but then kill his own brother just for the sake of all the fucked up shit they got going on, which is the fact that they want to get the inheritance of the family, and they don't like a lot of their family members anyway, so they plan this whole home invasion to look like they weren't involved at all, and for them to all get killed off so they would get the entire fortune for themselves. Because if you see this cabin that they're staying in, if you see and pay attention to things, they are well fucking off. I'm telling you, if they ain't millionaires, they're damn close. And they want that fucking fun, and they want that money. And I'm pretty sure they are millionaires. That's why they want the money. They're literally offering these dudes like hundreds of thousands each to do the job, right? The masked killer guys. And you never get any of their names, which I do really dig, except the fact that you do find out that two of them are related and were brothers when Aaron ends up killing one of them with one of those mallet things they use to crush meat, I believe. Don't know the name of it. But anyway, she ends up crushing that to crush the dude's skull and kills his brother, but that's all you get in any regards to their personal life or connection to any of the characters or to each other. So I really dig the mystery that kind of takes you back to the old school slasher shit where it's just mysterious, crazy killers. You know what I'm saying? But they have more of a purpose and more of a motive that is more monetary and kind of fits the modern era a little bit better than sometimes when they try to go with the old school route. So I really, really dig that with this film especially, and just the overall way that they execute all that stuff is so great. But that's the whole thing. They want the fortune. They're going to get it for themselves, Crispin and Felix specifically. So they're going to split the funds and everything like that with their respective girlfriends and whatnot. Have Aaron testify that she was the only person there that actually didn't have a motive or couldn't have really had a motive, right? So they were going to use her as kind of their scapegoat and kind of the innocent victim survivor that could have gotten through the whole situation. They were told specifically not to kill her. I don't know if that was really true, but I feel like her boyfriend Crispin was lying about that, but who knows? But anyway, that was the whole thing set up there. And just like I said, from the moment that they shoot that arrow in a Ty West's forehead when he gets too fucking curious, starting looking through the window and shit, man, every kill after that, it doesn't take too long before the Carnage candy really starts coming out to play and you start trick-or-treating and getting that Carnage candy thrown into your bucket, because they ain't fucking playing around, man. Like, you see one of the sisters run outside, and then they have a fucking string of like barbed wire set up right there, so then it freaking cuts her throat open, and she literally dies like drowning in her own blood and shit. That was fucking intense as hell. Like, they don't be fucking around in this movie, man. I tell you, they don't be fucking around. And overall, man, it's just so well done, and just all the little traps and like instance in like kind of like all the little traps that like Aaron comes up with is just so Home Alone, but in the best way. And they were obviously influenced by that. And I love the way they kind of influenced that here. It's almost like she met Kevin McAllister back in the day or something, and he taught her the skills. But I love the way that she was raised by a survivalist that was always paranoid about the end of the world. So he taught her all these survival skills and in different ways, and like self-defense and all this stuff, so that way she'd be able to survive any kind of crazy situation that would come her way. And hey, that ended up paying off because she ended up dating a crazy person. So hey, there you go. So she ends up, kicking ass, taking names, getting through this thing. And I love all the different animal masks and everything too that they have. It's so damn iconic, so damn cool looking, man. Like, I really, really dig that. And overall, man, this is just such a dope-ass movie, man. Just the score is so dope. I love how they use the synth at times, but then other times they just kind of go more kind of orchestral, more with like soundscape kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I like the kind of mix and blend of that. And they weren't going for the retro vibe. They just used the synth score because it fit the scene overall. Especially that sequence where Aaron's like limping around after she's had to jump through the window and shit, and she's smashing all the lights in the hallway so that way the killers can't see shit. That was fucking awesome, man. So damn awesome. And then the overall sequence where she ends up fucking up Felix and Z is fucking dope, man. She ends up fucking up dude's head completely by freaking shoving a blender into his head, or crashing or breaking the glass over his head of the blender, and then putting the freaking blade part of the blender onto his head and turning that motherfucker on. She's like, ah! Like just fucking, swirling up his brains big time, boy. And I'm like, yo, god damn. And then she ends up flipping the knife around that she gets stabbed by Z with out of her shoulder and stabs her on the top of the dome with it. And I'm like, yo, she ain't playing around. When she's killing you, motherfucker, she killing him. Like when she was in that dude with that meat crusher thing earlier, she hit him like 4 or 5 more times over the head when he was clearly dead. She's like, I'm making sure your ass dead. I watched Zombieland, double tap, bitch. So she wasn't playing around there. And I just absolutely love that, man. She was just so badass. And I appreciated that with the writing, that they didn't have her just hit him one time. He's dead. And then he gets up. You know what I'm saying? I hate that kind of shit. So I love that they totally got away from the tropes completely on that one. And they really just kind of like break up all the tropes in general for the most part in this film. And it really deconstructs that kind of stuff, not necessarily in a meta way or takes up the screen time or the story doing that, but it just, in the stylistic choices and in the creative choices they made, you can tell they're really like trying to break the mold in that regard. And that's what I love about this movie. It plays into things that are familiar and things that have been done before, but kind of blends them in a new way that does feel somewhat unique and somewhat fresh and original. So that's what really makes this movie stand head and shoulders above a lot of other horror films to me, in my opinion, of the modern era, because it really does something new and brings a lot of something new to the genre without completely being like forgetting where it came from and forgetting its roots, but really being playing into that and kind of being very accessible to a mainstream-ish audience that can handle watching horror movies. It kind of makes it to where you can kind of get in on it, but if you're a horror fan, it really has a lot of that like brutality, a lot of the scariness, a lot of the creepiness, and a lot of the edginess that horror brings, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that primal instinct that it brings out of the characters in that way that you kind of like go along with Erin and kind of see what she's doing and kind of suggest things you can do to kind of survive the situation. You're almost taking notes, you know? So it's like this really cool, like really like immersive experience as well, similar to how I said about Deadstream, but really plays true here in You're Next. You really feel like you're right there in the trenches with her, trying to get through this situation, trying to figure out the best way out of it, and just trying to look at all the different things she's saying, like board up the windows, bro, like lock all the doors and board up the windows, man, we got to get this shit taken care of. Yo, make an emergency call, because even with no bars, it'll get through to 911 and all this shit. And he's like, Crispin was even at one point like, whoa, the fuck? I didn't know she knew all this shit. So I love the way that plays in, and you just see the character, just see her, you know, you see the wheels turning, and you see her really come through and do her thing. And I like just all that stuff, man. Like, this is just such a really well done film, man, and has always been one of my personal favorites. And it's a really dope movie, man. If you haven't seen You're Next, you need to check it out. My bad for spoiling it for you if you didn't, but if you care about spoilers at this point and stuck around, I guess it's kind of on you. But hey, if you've seen You're Next, let me know what you love about it down below. Let me know the first time you've seen it. And let me know if you've met anyone from the cast, or if you met Adam Wingard or anyone like that. And let me know your favorite scenes, your favorite moments without the film and all that stuff. I would love to hear y'all's opinion, as we always do. Love getting into those dope discussions with all of y'all. And make sure you stick around with us, man. We got a lot more content coming in the last 2 months of the year, man. Here in 2022, we're going to end it on a strong note and keep it as consistent, if not more consistent. More content to come, man. We got some new stuff on the horizon, so make sure you stay tuned for that and keep your eyes peeled on our social media to get all those announcements as well, if you don't keep up with us regularly on the YouTube, because you listen in on the podcast feed. And for those of you that are, thank you very much for doing so. And make sure you keep clicking that download button and click the follow on all your podcast feeds anywhere you get your audio. It really does help the show immensely, and we appreciate each and every one of you listeners. We also appreciate each and every one of you watchers. Keep clicking the subscribe, hashtag more bells, you know, hit that cowbell, baby. We need to make sure you hear about all the dopeness that be coming in your feed from Fandom Frequency, baby. But that is going to do it for us here on the Fandom Frequency Show, episode 23, guys. It has been a blast getting into all this horror Halloween goodness with y'all. Make sure you stay tuned and you don't sleep on anything we got going on here, man. Happy Halloween, trick or treat, don't sleep, check that candy, and until then, stay safe. Much love, y'all. Peace.